Hello there. Unlike the Zorin operating system that I have recently reviewed, I suspect that most of you have come to watching this video in the hope to see the new web installer, right, for Fedora 42, and maybe to hear about the new promoted KDE edition of Fedora, right? So let's get into it and install it immediately, right? I have already downloaded the USB image, right? Burned it to my USB stick, inserted the stick, and started the installer for you. There we go. So this is when you boot it up, right? You get the live installer from the GNOME, right? Install Fedora. Right, so this is the new look, right? So this is where you pick your language for the installation, your keyboard, right? We can stick with the US for now, I don't mind. So this laptop already has Fedora 41 installed on it, and it is offering to reinstall Fedora, share the disk like dual boot, right? Use entire disk. This is what we are going to do for now, so that you can see how it looks like from the scratch, right? Mount point assignment, well, if you want something pre-configured, let's go next. Do you want encryption? We are not going to do that this time. And basically this is it, right? We are ready for the installation. It is going to delete my existing partitions. It is going to format 600 megabytes of space for the EFI partition for booting. The boot partition is also being selected as a separate partition with ext4, which is a little bit more compatible with grub. So the rest of it is going to be Butterfile system, right? As very popular nowadays. I understand. Erase all the data and install Fedora, right? So at this point, you can just sit back and relax and let the system do its thing. So a couple of steps, right? Storage configuration completed, software installation in progress, system configuration and finalization. The grub installation comes pretty much at the end of every Linux installation. So let's sit back and relax for a moment. Right, there you have it. The installation has finished. There is a button exit to desktop, right? And we can now reboot. Right, so I guess we could draw a parallel with Windows or other mature operating systems like that one. The way that this is set up is that anyone who is proficient enough can, prepare an installer on the new laptop or something and just give it to an end user who will now finish the setup, right? Put on the username and the wireless network and stuff like that, right? So this is useful for when you're, selling, for example, laptops in the, you have a laptop store or computer store, and you can just easily pre-install these computers with operating systems such as Fedora, right? And simply allow the end user to run it for the first time and do this, right? So let's go ahead and move this out of the way of my picture. Choose our language. Next, keyboard, of course, whichever we want. The wireless network, we don't need that as we're connected via a wired networking, but nevertheless, we can choose our wireless. Do we want location services, automatic problem reporting? So technical reports are enabled by default. You can disable them, right, if you want. I'm just gonna leave them enabled for now. Time zone, you can choose your city. For example, if you are in Paris, France, you can pick this time zone. Third-party repositories, right? So Fedora usually doesn't include third-party repositories for the reasoning that they believe in free software, right? So the goals of the free software, right? But if you need those, you can enable them just by clicking this one button here. And let's go to the next page. Full name, Linux, Renaissance, right? Username, Dart, okay. Do we need enterprise login here? I don't think so, but it is an option. Set your password. Okay, it's a weak one, doesn't matter. All done. Start using Fedora. There we go. So the initial greeter from GNOME, right? Let's begin. Get an overview. Powerful search. Stay organized with workspaces. Swipe up and down. Yeah, this is what I'm doing right now. Swipe left and right for the desktops, right? And that's about it. Fedora is ready for you. Let's go ahead and start the terminal. There we go. Default kernel is 6.14, right? So at the moment of recording this video, the Fedora 41 was on kernel 6.13 0.10, I believe, right? So still not quite transitioned to the new 6.14 kernel, but it is going to catch up any moment now, right? The new one is, of course, on 6.14. Personally, I have imagined that this video is going to be watched by the long-time Fedora users, or maybe those who are thinking about coming back to Fedora. So in regards to GNOME, I don't think that I have too much to show you, but just in case if you are a new GNOME user, this is basically a typical interface that you're going to get, right? So if you swipe with 3 fingers on your touchpad to the left, right, you're going to get a new desktop workspace, right? If you swipe up with 3 fingers, you can choose your pinned applications, such as your default web browser, which is Firefox in this case. If you swipe up again, there is a button to show all of the applications that are pre-installed, right? For example, you can go to settings here, right? Let's get this out of the way here. There are our Wi-Fi settings, the rest of the network settings, Bluetooth settings. Bluetooth is actually disabled in BIOS for this particular laptop, so that's why it's not showing up. Display configuration, it's not connected to any external monitors, but if you would have some, it would be here, right? Actually, I do have an external monitor, which is the capture card that I'm using right now, but I have already selected external monitor only. That's why you're seeing just one. Sound settings here, right? All of the standard stuff. Power settings, currently I am on a charger and both of my batteries are pretty much charged, right? You can set up some of the settings in regards to battery. Multitasking, right? So the default is that if you go to the left side, this is the hot corner behavior, basically your kind of a task manager of sorts, right? Active screen edges, this is for, you know, the regular stuff. If you go to the left side, it will populate. It's kind of a manual tiling method, right? Let's go back to the settings here, right? Appearance, you can go to switch to the dark mode if you prefer. So we can change the background to something more uh, like something more that I could like, maybe this one. Okay, this one is kind of cool. Reminds me of Lego. Applications here, right? Settings for the applications, notifications, settings, right? Search. online account, right? If you need your Google account to be set up, your email, calendar, stuff like that. Microsoft, same thing. Nextcloud integration is pretty good on GNOME. Always has been a lot better than on KDE Plasma, right? If you're using Nextcloud, you're going to find this integration pretty well done on GNOME, right? And the rest of the account settings, right? The digital well-being, right? Screen time unavailable. What this basically means is that after a while it is going to, well, it's pretty much the same as on Android and iPhones, right? It will count your screen usage, right? This is a feature of the new GNOME version, and it will report back at you how much you're using your computer. You can set some of the limits, right? The reminders to take a break and stuff like that. Nothing out of the ordinary, but it is a new feature, right? Mouse and touchpad settings can be set up here. Your keyboard, if you have set up the wrong version during the setup, you can change it here. Color management, right? Nothing out of the ordinary. Setting up printers. I don't have a printer at home, but this is where you would be setting it up, right? So right now I am going to wipe my install USB stick and install KDE edition of Fedora 42 for you so that you can see what is the difference, right? I'm gonna get back to you after I install it. There we go. The live installer for Fedora KDE edition, Fedora 42. Let's click the installer button here. I suppose we can turn off the screen right now. Yeah, welcome to Fedora 42, to English here. Okay, we are back to the old installer here. There we go. First boot of KDE Fedora 42, right? Fedora loves KDE and KDE loves Fedora. Next, simple by default, powerful when needed, manage software, right? Share anonymous usage information, disabled by default, enable third-party repositories. Yeah, well, let's do that. And enjoy it, right? Right out of the gate, we already have some updates waiting. Let's click on that and see what happens here. Updates. System upgrade, 189 packages ready to be updated. Let's click more information to see what's up about that. Yeah, a lot of fixes, a lot of standard stuff is going to get fixed. Let's update everything. But yeah, just as in the GNOME version of Fedora 42, we are getting here the kernel version 6.14, right? And the KDE Plasma is 6.3.4. Restart to install updates. The default behavior of Fedora, right? Here we go. After the first update, we got kernel version 6.14.2, which is the latest one at the day of this recording, right? So we are fully up to date at this moment, and we can start enjoying both the regular GNOME version of Fedora 42 and as well as the newly promoted KDE Plasma edition of the Fedora 42, right? It is no longer a spin. And speaking of spins, the new spin has been introduced, which is Cosmic Alpha, right? So the new desktop environment from System 76. If you are into that, right, if you care about Fedora and you want to try out the new desktop environment, which is well, it's still not finished, but it is good enough to get your hands on it and see how it behaves, right? Um, I have tried it out sometime last summer. It was okay, uh, and I think you should give it a try as well if you are into checking out the new desktops, right? But just as well, if you're fine with your existing desktop environment, Fedora is giving you plenty of options to play with and enjoy. You get to enjoy frequent updates, all of the latest kernel versions. The desktop environment is getting updated along the year, right? You don't have to wait for the next well release, the next full release to get the next version of the desktop environment. So that is like in between the rolling distribution and a fully static one, such as Debian, right? So kind of a middle ground in between, right? That's kind of it for me, from me today, and I'm going to see you in the next video.